Welcome back, everybody, to this is the August Holistic Actions question and answer with Dr. Christina Chambreau, myself, Jeff Feinman, and we are here to help support you along the path of getting well for your animals and staying well for your animals, and by bringing us all together, the mind, body, spirit, people, animals, the world, etc. So let's just jump right into it. Dr. Christina, do you want to?
Well, I don't know.
I guess
if you know how to raise your hand, you can raise your hand. Of course, it depends on whether you're on a cell phone or whatever you're on. And otherwise, you can post in the chat, or you can just sort of wave your hand around and see if Dr. Jeff sees you to call on you. So Jennifer, with her official hand raised, you can get started. What's your question today?
Thanks. Let's see. I adopted a 2-year-old kitten who came from a rescue, and the only records they have are the ones from her being spayed at the ASPCA about a year ago. And they did give the cat a few vaccinations, rabies and things like that. And I'm raised my cats homeopathically. So my question is, so I just got her. I don't have any blood work. I don't have any urinalysis. I don't have any records, right? Do I need to do anything at this point? Because she's pretty healthy and she's, there's no indications on the ASPCA record of anything that they found at the time when they did it. So I'm just I'm going to talk to my local vet tomorrow. Without her, I'm not bringing her to the vet or anything, but I'm just trying to find out and get some information because my 17-and-a-half-year-old cat died on August 11th. And I got her, yeah, it was heartbreaking. I got the 2-year-old because I also have an 8-year-old who for 7.5 years lived with my other cat. And so that's why I brought the 2-year-old in. But now I want to know, I have a baseline. I've always had a baseline for my other cats that I could compare the blood work and urinalysis.
Well, it's actually not critical at all.
Okay.
And so the first thing, you say your local vet, is that person open to you doing all sorts of things holistically and not vaccinating and all that? Good. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I see her, is because she knows how I raise my cats.
Perfect.
And so I don't have any pressure or any of that.
Excellent.
She's the only one in the practice that does that. So she's the only one I see. And, when they try to send me to somebody else in her absence, I'm like, no, I'll just wait.
So what part of the country do you live in?
I live in Brooklyn.
Okay. So it's really good. One of the things that we can do as a community to help each other is to share good vets, whether they're holistic vets or local conventional vets.
I can put the name in the chat.
So I would put,
well,
the chat disappears. So post it in, you're a Holistic Actions member, right?
I think so.
Okay. So post it in the forum. Just head to the forum.
Okay.
And there's a thread for that, or a folder for.
Yeah, you have to ask for her specifically. So I hear what you're
Right.
saying. I can do that. And there's also, I also use a homeopathic vet who is virtual. He's in Florida. That's Dr. Michael Dim.
Michael Dim. Okay, great.
Yeah. And he's fabulous. And he has been with me with my cats since before this one and her sister, prior cats. So I've known him for a very long time.
Hello?
The only other thing that I would do would be to, do you have the Healthy Cat Journal? Have you downloaded that from the?
I don't think, is that on the Holistic Action Network?
It is. It's one of the member benefits is the Healthy Dog or the Healthy Cat Journal ebook, and you download it and assemble it. Part of it you keep on the computer, which has information, and then the rest of it you print and you make a master symptom list bookmark, and has the early warning signs right there. And it just
Oh.
makes it very easy to
Okay.
track symptoms. And especially when you're starting off with somebody that you know nothing about, it may even help you, get to what's notice anything, because you'll be looking at the early warning signs and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, because it's been a long time since I've had like a little one, and
Yeah.
so I don't want to pretend I know everything. I've Anitra Frazier, who I know you guys know, has watched my cats for like
Oh, aren't you
25 to 30
blessed?
years. So I've been very blessed. She's also a client of mine. I helped her with the natural cat book.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so
Wow.
like basically, I'm completely on the
You
homeopathic
are
side of the street.
on the
And so,
holistic side and
yeah.
homeopathic. Yes,
And
I
so
love it.
I give my cats fluorescences
Well,
and stuff.
keep
And that's what I've been doing to
spreading.
get along.
That's great. Keep spreading the word. And you might even, you might want to pay attention to what's going on in the forum. And when there are posts about cats,
Mhm.
you can refer them to Anitra Frazier's book.
Oh,
And
sure.
mention
Yeah, I
Anitra
do it all the
Frazier.
time. Yeah.
And
okay.
so if you, but in the forum,
In the
if you add
forum
that
itself.
into the
Yeah, I
forum,
can do that.
yeah,
Sure.
then that really helps people. And we have 2 recordings, webinars
Right.
with
I was on one of
Anitra
them.
Frazier. So everybody with a cat, I definitely recommend that. Okay, so
Thank you.
next,
I really
you're
appreciate your
welcome,
help.
Jennifer.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you for all you've done.
Yeah.
Aisha, you're next.
Hi, I'm Daisha. Hi, Dr. Christina. Hi, Dr. Jack.
Hello.
Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you fine. Yep.
Great, thank you. All right, so Dr. Christina, I had a phone call with you recently. Thank you for that. It's about my cat, Bella. I actually haven't been on the forum in quite a few months now. Dr. Christina, as you know, I have suffered a tragic loss in my immediate home, and my attentions were elsewhere. The reason I'm here today and asking a question is after I spoke with you, Dr. Christina, I did have a phone consult with my homeopathic vet, Dr. Judy Herman.
Okay.
She's out of Maine. And she had sent me, I just got it in the mail yesterday. We're going to try a new remedy for Bella, Arsenicum album.
Mm-hmm.
And I had specifically reached out to Dr. Judy in regards to Bella's scabs, the itching, the scabs that are between her shoulder blades and a little bit above them. She is the one that I've posted on in the past previously that has some early stage kidney disease. And I will get to the point here for everybody involved. I know we got a short time here, but to the point is that there has been a lot of more stress, as you can imagine, in my immediate home since after Bella had her initial kidney symptoms. My question for you is that I have been noticing that when I have not dosed her yet. However, my question is, I have noticed the past few days when I go to kind of like pet her down her back, that when my hand is on the area where the scabs are, there's quite a bit of heat. There's quite a bit of temperature heat coming from it. And I've never noticed this before, and I'm a little concerned. I did send an email to Dr. Judy and Gina this morning. Haven't heard back yet.
Okay, so let me stop you at this point, okay? Because we do have about 2 minutes per person usually. So what you want to be sure to do is write this down in the journal that you notice that there was heat at this point. And every remedy, the Arsenicum album is not to treat the scabs. The Arsenicum album is to rebalance the underlying energy field to help support the kidneys as well as the skin. And as I recommend everybody do searches on the Holistic Actions site, if you're a member, for evaluation of response. And those of you who aren't members, when you take the 101 course, which is free, it's in there as well. So as healing happens, we often get more external symptoms. We often get symptoms that are further away from the head. So you may have an animal that had liver disease, a dog with liver disease, who now is chewing his paws almost raw. And that's good when you see that. So heat is a sign of maybe trying to heal herself. So the only thing to do is to follow Dr. Herman's prescription and then notice if, in addition to the scabs, the heat goes away. But it still fits arsenic and album. Great. Melissa.
Hi, I'm Melissa. So I have 2 cats, but my question is about my 10-year-old cat Poe. So for the past 2 years, when we've done blood work at the vet, his SDMA levels have been slightly elevated. And my vet has not been too concerned because his other markers for kidney function are normal and his urine is appropriately concentrated, but I wanted to get your take on it and, what are some things I should be doing at this point?
Great. So are you a member?
Is there a
Holistic
fee to be,
Actions?
is there
There
a fee? Okay, I'm not yet, but
Okay. You might want to consider that because
Okay.
we've got incredible amount of resources about kidneys that counteract anything that you'll find, not anything. There's much misinformation on the internet and much misinformation actually coming from your conventional veterinarian. So step one, particularly when you have 2 cats, I don't know how old the other one is, but it's good to have a holistic veterinarian on your team. So you want to, that's one of your first steps. And we have an article. If you go to holisticactions.com/select, you do not need to be a member. And it'll walk you through, read the whole article, and you have to do a lot of work, but you'll come up with a great veterinarian to work with. And then you have to sort of check it out. I'm going to let Dr. Jeff answer about the blood value, what your comment on the blood value and maybe tracking.
And that actually is key, is trending, Melissa.
Trending.
Do you know if has the estimate been going up, or it's been just stable at that elevated or that marginal level?
So I have 2 values. In 2022, it was like 16.8, but last year it went down a little to 15.4.
And in the face of a normal urine specific gravity and normal creatinine and BUN, it means nothing. So as far as conventional vet med, but it's basically an early warning sign, an internal or early warning sign that you'll need to keep an eye on. Are you treating with homeopathy?
No, I'm really brand new to this. Like I'm totally on board with all of it. I just don't know where to begin.
So you begin with taking the 101 course, which is free. You don't have to be a member to do that. And go to the select article, find a holistic vet to work with, and that will get you started. And then if you become a member, you can, the other thing you can do is go to the forum and you can search for what other people have asked about and we've answered about kidneys. So you can read all about kidneys there and blood work. And then if you become a member, you'll access all the webinars that we've done on kidneys and cats, and as well as being able to post in the forum and get specific questions answered to get you on the right. And as a member, you also have access to a 15-minute call with Dr. Jeff or myself to help get you on the right path as well. At this point, I would say work on yourself not getting worried about it.
That is very hard because I have a lot of anxiety.
Well, sometimes our animals come into our lives to teach us how not to worry. and how to live in the moment, in the present, which I'm sure you know about that maybe
Mhm.
you aren't doing. And you can actually use your cats as clues. How am I doing? By watching their behaviors. And you can see that shift as well as noticing for yourself. So January and February of the last few years in our webinars, if you become a member, we've really focused on people health. And as you noticed, that's how Dr. Jeff introduced our whole thing today, was we're helping people be healthy mentally, spiritually, and physically, or mentally and spiritually more. And because it really is this interaction between us and our cats. But as a vet, don't worry right now.
Okay.
And
Yes.
now is the time to be learning about holistic approaches and not worry.
Okay.
And I just had one last question, Melissa, and that is what you're feeding.
I am feeding them dry food right now, but I really have wanted to for a long time to get into raw food. I'm just afraid and anxious about doing the wrong thing.
Just get
Lesson
them off the
2,
dry food and
Yeah.
onto some wet food. That will do. That may solve the STMA elevation.
Okay.
and first step is, will they eat canned food? Have you tried that?
I have Poe is picky, so
Okay.
he would take a little convincing. My other cat will probably eat anything that I give
Okay.
her.
So number 1, make sure the dry food is not out free choice.
Hmm.
Keep the dry food in the freezer and put down canned food first. Sprinkle a little powdered dry food on top of it for the picky one.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work and she misses a meal, then you could give her some dry food at the next meal. Just be persistent.
Okay.
And lesson 2 in the 101 course is about nutrition, and we have tons and tons and tons. Also, there's a wonderful, as you become a member, and for anyone else here who's stressed about your animal's health, we did a wonderful de-stress with your animals workshop. And part of that workshop was about us de-stressing. And part of it, I did a really great demo that is videoed about feeding fresh food to animals, which helps de-stress people about thinking about, oh my God, I'm doing it wrong. So if you become a member, check that one out. That's a really good one to try.
Okay. And I just want to say I'm halfway through the 101 course now.
Oh, good.
So I'm
Okay.
learning
Good job.
that I should not
Great.
be feeding cats dry food.
Yeah, I had a feeling you already knew that
Yeah.
somehow.
Thank
So,
you.
okay, I'm going to skip quickly to, Nick and Nip aren't the same. Okay, so a cat trying to eat silk plants and why to do to stop it. So eating weird things like licking concrete, eating stool, silk plants, licking photographs, those are the early warning signs that there's an internal imbalance. So do you want to unmute yourself? So the question would be, what happened around the time when it started? Maybe you can pinpoint back to what was going on at that time. And then the second is check your diet. Are you doing enough mental exercise? A lot of cats really are underserved in terms of physical and mental exercise and interaction with people, and that will have them often go out. But you may need to be working with the energy field to rebalance it. So in addition to eating silk plants, download the Healthy Cat Journal. And as you're going through the 101 course, maybe again, if you've already done it, just double check. What are some of the other early warning signs going on? Is she vomiting hairballs occasionally? Is her coat changed at all? What else is going on? So hopefully that did that one. Next with hand up is Nick. And Dr. Jeff, when you recognize people's abbreviations, please step in and just say, because I'm embarrassed because I never remember people's abbreviations. So go ahead, Nick. Oh, well, maybe she's disappeared. She had to get back on a second time. Oh, no. So we'll wait and see. Okay, so Silk Cats,
Laura, yes.
Firefly has bradycardia. Absolutely, dogs get bradycardia. And when you ask here, I haven't noticed cardiac symptoms for any homeopathic remedy. And if you want to unmute yourself, Laurie, you can certainly do that. There are over 7,000 homeopathic medicines. And in the repertory, the index for symptoms, probably 2,000 of those remedies are listed in the heart section or chest section. So there are definitely tons and tons of homeopathic medicines that are used to help the heart. And but we don't have a remedy for bradycardia. There's probably 50, 60 remedies that could be used for bradycardia. We prescribe homeopathic medicines by looking at all the symptoms that are here now and have ever been in the past. And then we're rebalancing the energy field. And there are multiple ways to rebalance the energy field. Homeopathy is an excellent way. Very good Chinese medicine is excellent as well. Acupuncture, Chinese herbs, Western herbs can be excellent. Osteopathy can be excellent. Pure energy medicine like Reiki, etc., can sometimes shift something like that. Anything else, Dr. Jeff, on heart problems? Oh, we have a heart. The other one, if you remember, Laurie, is we did a webinar. If you put in home heart health exam, there's a whole, and then also do a search in the member references on heart. We have a whole, in the library, there's a whole section on cardiac problems. And it talks about you listening to the heart. So you can take the heart rate at different times of the day. You can watch the respiratory rate. You can look at the colors of the gums, things like that. So there's a lot you can do to monitor it. And I would definitely have a really good homeopath or Chinese medicine veterinarian with whom to work. Anything else about heart, Dr. Jeff?
Now without a lot more information. So why don't we go on to Nick?
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
let's go back to Nick, who got back in again. Go ahead. We're not hearing you, but it doesn't look, oh, she disappeared again. She's having trouble. She keeps having to come back in. So let's see, where were we here? Okay, so Michelle has a spayed female tabby who's harassing the 14-year-old. Are you there? Can you unmute yourself, Michelle?
Hi there, yeah.
Okay, there are a ton of different approaches than feel away plugs, for sure. And since you're a member, what you want to do is go to the behavior. It's like brain and behavior in the member library, number one, and number two, do a search in the forum. So any of you who are members and haven't figured this out yet, we have 2 rooms in the House of Holistic Actions, and you have to search in the forum for forum answers and search in the other part for everything else, the webinars and more information. And so I would definitely do more Reiki. You may want to, so when you've used a lot of things, I've used Rescue Remedies, Stress Stopper from Jackson Galaxy Vine, and Holly, what response did you have from those?
Well, I had another dynamic. I had a 14-year-old male cat, and I used all of those things to calm his behavior because he was also aggressive to the female black cat. The two tabbies got along swimmingly, but he passed away more than a year ago, and now the female tabby, the younger one, is just, I guess she's missing somebody to play with. So I haven't reintroduced the other additives or supplements. I've just really been doing the feel away recently, and that
Okay.
doesn't seem to be working.
Well, the key is, so if you had a 4-year-old toddler who is misbehaving, do you think you'd get a ton of suggestions for what to do? And you'd just try one and then try the next and try the next. So that's really what we need to do. So feel away didn't work. Okay, maybe there's a different dynamic going on. One thing you could do would be to talk to an animal communicator and find out what's going on. Maybe this black female, she seems like she's getting picked on by a number of people. Maybe she's the one you need to be treating with flower essences to
Correct.
build
Right.
her up.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of thing can sometimes show up in an animal communication
Okay.
talk. And then the other would be, you can also look at Green Hope essences, as well as Jackson Galaxy's other essences that Dr. Hovey has put together. And one of them is Safe Space. So that
I think I have tried that before.
Okay.
I can pull that out and let me see if that works again.
The other thing is we have done a number of seminars, and again, this is for everybody. We've done a number of seminars or several seminars on doing muscle testing, pendulum, the sway method, learning how to ask the universe, learning how to ask the animal what's needed at this point. And when you're working with something like flower essences that are totally safe,
yeah,
that's a great place to play around with that before you order them. Look at it online, look at the cat and go, do you need this? Is this one good for you? Would this be, rephrase your question several times. Is this in your best interest? Do you need a different, would there be a better one? Is this the best one? You know, ask it several different ways because how you ask the question is important.
Yeah, I forgot all about the pendulum.
Very good. Okay.
Great.
Enjoy,
Thanks.
Michelle.
Good advice.
You're on, and remember, you can always post on the forum as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. SIBO. Adopted, so you've had her about 9 months. Home cooked diet, allergies are more controlled, her ears are better. Don't worry about a diagnosis. She's better. She's doing steadily better. Robin, you want to unmute yourself? And Nick, we'll try again with you. Nick, you might want to keep your video off. I will call on you, and maybe that'll allow you not to disappear on us. So after I talk to Robin, I'll get to you. Robin, are you there? Okay, well, I'll get back to you, Robin. Okay, Nick, go ahead. What's your question? We can't hear you. You're not muted on Zoom. So check your microphone on your, or your
Okay,
volume.
I think I got it. Okay,
Good. I hear you.
yeah, I'm on my phone now. I gave up on the computer. So I have a 22-year-old feline that
Good for
has
you.
kidney disease,
Mm-hmm.
and she is having some collapsing issues.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
So
she's buckling in the front,
First
and
off,
the last couple of days she started to collapse on her side. I gave her some potassium gel that seems to have helped, and she's also leaking urine. I have her on some Costicum, and for a while we were on Apis, but
so are
I
you
was
working
going to
with?
move.
Are
Yeah,
you
I'm not
working?
sure. What do you
Are
guys
you-
think?
Are you working with a homeopathic veterinarian, or are
I
you
am now.
prescribing on your own? Okay.
I am
Who are-
now, and
are
but the
you-
potassium is all me intuitively. I
Okay,
just started with Diva Calson.
okay,
I think
David
that's how you say her
Kalsa.
name.
Is
Yeah.
she the one that's been prescribing the Apis and the Causticum?
Yes.
Okay. So, again, for everybody, keeping a journal and tracking all the symptoms is important, because every time you give a remedy, you have to look at all symptoms that are there, not just one or not just the new one. When a new symptom appears, like the collapsing, then that's a time where you have to check if that symptom is part of the remedy that had been helping, or if we need to do a new remedy at that point. And then if you've been doing homeopathy and you seem to be getting worse and it's not progressing, you then either need to work with a different homeopath or switch sometimes to a different modality, like,
Yeah.
like Chinese medicine, acupuncture. Dr. Jeff, any comments about the collapsing and the potassium?
Yeah, I took her off the homeopathics several days ago, and I've just been doing the potassium gel, which seems to help, but I don't want to do too much. And I'm doing some Reiki and some Tellington touch in the meantime.
Good.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit, I don't know if this is her exit point.
Well, we
or, I mean,
never know, do we?
no.
As long as they're alive, there's hope, and you keep working with it. That's really, we never know. And you can watch the webinars by Gail Pope, and she has and then we have a lot on kidney as well, but Gail Pope has a whole hospice course, which helps you be in that position of, I don't know which direction we're going at this point. And all we can do is keep soothing and supporting. The Reiki, the Tellington touch, awesome, really, really good. And other hands-on can also be good. So, or other energy. Dr. Jeff, anything on the collapsing?
I guess at 22, there could be a lot going on. My first question would be how your kitty was, say, 6 months ago.
My kitty has been better. We've had this problem, which interestingly enough, my dog had for a little bit, but it went away, where she has this intermittent leaking. And I was told, I don't know, 8 years ago by a Western vet, oh yeah, she's got kidney disease, start sub-Qs, and, she didn't have long, and I did all this stuff, and we did, all this diagnostics, and anyway, she'd stop leaking for 2 years, and then she'd start again. Right now, the leaking is so bad. She jumps she has like a laundry basket, she's got like stairs to the bed, and she's leaking, and she has been so fastidious and careful her entire life with her, and so her bladder wall is leaking. Yeah, she's very proud of being clean, and so this is hard for her, and I'm trying to keep her dignity, and I feel like the leaking has stopped before for months or years at a time. So I don't know,
It means it can stop again.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
right,
Gail
that's
Pope,
where I'm at.
we treated cats at Gail Pope's, Jeff and I both, that one I treated to 34, and she had several that made it to
Wow.
22 to 30, 29 to 30 range. So, and an uneducated person walking in would see the cats and go, oh, you need to euthanize that cat right away. And
Yeah.
but the cat was perfectly happy, and she could speak to the healthy cat. So, I would, at this point, if David Carr is your choice for a homeopath, I would get back to her and say, do we need to change remedies for the causticum? And make sure you're feeling that intuitively it is right. Or, you look to see if there's another modality.
Yeah, she had recommended doing the what is it, the arsicum? What do you call it? I'm sorry. Yeah, the arsenicum. We did a couple days of that, but we weren't having the collapsing then. And
But, okay, so the collapsing came after you started the arsenicum.
I guess so. Yeah.
And see,
You're
that's
right.
why you got to track the
Yep,
symptoms
you're right.
day by
You're right.
day
Mhm.
really carefully. And what about the involuntary urination, the dribbling? Did that get
It's-
better on the arsenicum?
No.
Than arsenicum? Did she feel better overall on the arsenicum?
I don't think so.
Then arsenicum's the wrong remedy, more than likely. I mean,
Okay.
you know, without taking the whole case, I
Right.
can't be totally
Yeah.
accurate, but it's
Yeah.
probably the wrong remedy.
And
So I
the-
would
and
get
the-
back to Dr. Kalsa and/or,
She seems to kind of think this is the end. So,
oh, she does?
well, she's like, oh, she sounds like this is it.
Oh, no,
Mm.
then you need to work with another homeopath.
That was a couple weeks ago. So
Yeah, no, you need to work with another homeopath who will not
that's why
do
I'm
that.
kind of like, maybe I just need to just kind of wing this and, you know, but it's kind
Well-
of a critical time.
I would keep winging it. And are you a member of Holistic Actions?
I thought I was, but I guess I'm not yet. I thought I did that
Okay.
scholarship thing, but I guess I didn't.
Okay, so go to support. Dr.
Okay.
Jeff, is it support@holisticactions.com? Right? And just check, but definitely being a member right now would help. And if you do want to switch homeopaths, if you go to theavh.org, maybe look at Todd Cooney, Cooney, Adriana Segrera, Judy Herman. You've heard some of these mentioned, Dr. Herman mentioned by some of the other people here. So even without becoming a member, you can do that. But there's so much in here for you, and particularly the forum. You could be posting daily about the collapse and what's going on. And also, I love Tina Ellenberger, who's does a lot with hospice and is a veterinarian, put the animalhospicegroup.org in the chat, and they have a course. And there also are chaplaincy groups just to help you, although you seem to be doing very well with this, to help you in this whole process, because we never know where we are.
Yeah, one thing that's actually stressing me out is I was supposed to go on there's a family reunion. It's about 3 hours away from here. We were supposed to go camping for 3 nights. I can't leave her for that long. I was going to try and do 1 or maybe 2, but in the meantime, I mean, she's totally incontinent. She's collapsing, and I'm, you know, the other day I was flipping her like a horse, you know, because she was down too long. So I'm flipping her up, and
Yeah.
potassium perks her up. In the meantime, my mom's going to take care of her. I'm not going to be gone very long because I just can't. So what do you think I should do? Do you think I should get back on the APHIS and the costium and
No,
the potassium?
Dr. Jeff, I wouldn't do
Yeah,
any remedy right now,
Yeah,
but
I think
Okay.
what about the
I'd probably
potassium?
stick with only about 1 or 2 milliquivs of potassium, because the potassium could be covering the collapse episodes. And, you know, the causticum is also great for, you know, the collapse and the urinary incontinence. So you may also want to look back and see how, you know, how the incontinence responded to that, or did that collapsing start when you were doing the causticum. Anyway, I think you've got to be at this point. You said, like you said, you know, it's not really the time to be winging it. So yeah, if you can find somebody to work with one-on-one, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
And
Thank you guys so much for
the
your
one other
patience with me.
piece
I'm sorry I was
is,
having such technical issues.
that's okay. You may want to take a urine sample in just to make sure that this time the leaking is not because of a bladder infection.
Yeah, we did a round of antibiotics, and we finished that up.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, just double check on that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
too many pieces. Once you become a member, again, post all this on the forum, and then we can really
Awesome.
help you more. I want to do
Okay.
a quick answer to Riley, which is, what is your opinion via Librela? Is that how you pronounce it, for arthritis? I strongly recommend not using it. I think it is very dangerous and do not recommend it at all. You have an appointment in 2 weeks. I would definitely not do Librela. And hopefully, if that holistic vet, integrative vet says Librela, then I would walk out. And who's the one you're going to in Olympia? Riley, if you can come on for a minute, because Ginny Wilkin lives near there, and I'm wondering if she knows that one. Can you unmute yourself, Riley?
Oh, I put it in the chat.
Oh, there
Can
it
you hear
goes.
me now?
Yes. Who's the veterinarian?
I'm so sorry, I can't remember her name. It's Hawks Prairie Veterinary Practice, but I don't remember the vet's name.
Ginny, do you know that one? You're muted.
Now she's shaking her head.
Yeah, I know she's shaking her head, but can you give us the name of the one that you love,
Yes,
that you're
please.
working with?
Yeah, you're speaking to me. I have no one local.
Yeah, that woman that I thought you had a vet.
Oh, I have my integrative vet.
Yeah.
She's not a homeopath.
No, but an integrative vet.
Yeah, her name is Kristen Finn, Christin, Finn, like you spell it, Finn, and she is in Kingston, which is, a good 60, 80 miles north of Olympia, but definitely worth the trip.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. Really helpful.
And
Yeah, and if you want to email me, I can give you she doesn't respond to phone. You'll have to email her. Go look at her website. She has a website under FinDVM.
Thank you so much. Really
Right.
appreciate it. I
Okay.
knew
And
it was wrong.
Reach out to me anytime.
Yeah,
You can
go
reach
on.
out to me anytime for general advice.
Wow. Thank you so, so much. You guys are amazing. Really
And
appreciate it.
if you're not a member, definitely become a member, Riley, because post
I
on the
am.
forum, we'll check on the forum. We've talked about Librella a lot there already. So
I'm a member, but I'm intimidated I haven't been able to figure out how to get on the forum. I tried to
So-
look that drug up and I'm bad
Yeah.
at it.
okay. So when you go to one of the basic first pages on the home site, it says member walkthrough. There's this whole video on how to use the website.
I've actually watched it. I'll watch it again.
And on Monday, the last Monday of every month, Aruna does an online webinar where you can ask questions.
You're kidding. Okay. Custom. Thank you so, so much.
And just also you can email support@holisticactions.com for anybody who's a member. If something on the site you can't figure it out, let us know. We want to walk you through it because there's so much great information there. So thank you.
So much, all of you.
Okay, Dr. Jeff, come in on PEA, please. Judy Herman recommends it in place of gabapentin for mast cell.
Judy probably Morgan, because I know
Oh,
she sells
Judy Morgan.
PEA supplement. Yep, it's a very useful thing in place of gabapentin. I guess I would say give it a try. It's not gonna hurt. Gabapentin is a pretty, I don't know what you're using it for there. Could you unmute Ruth just to say why you're using the gabapentin, or write it in the chat? Are you using it for pain?
No, she uses it, she's mentioned it for arthritis. It blocks pain without interfering with the things that gabapentin can do. So it has no side effects. And she uses it for arthritis, for mast cell. She's used it for allergies. She lists a whole slew of things that she has found it useful for. And I was just wondering if anybody had any experience with it yet. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Ruth. And yes, lots of experience, and it's like almost every other supplement that we use as far as it works for some, it doesn't work for others, but regardless, it does not get at the underlying energetic imbalance that's causing the symptom in the first place. So along with homeopathy, along with an energetic approach, PEA is wonderful. But it's the kind of supplement that works really, really well for some animals, and I've seen the best results in actually allergies in allergic dogs. But probably about 2/3 don't have much of a response in my experience. But with homeopathy combined, you will increase that and improve
Did you
that.
do the Xenophon yesterday?
Okay. Do we want to?
So I bet all of you are noticing a theme here. It's that we're really committed for health to have people be as happy and non-stressed for your animals as possible. And oh, that just reminded me, for the kitty that's tormenting the others because maybe she doesn't have somebody to play with, I meant to also suggest you, mom, need to do tons of physical and mental stimulation. And if that is the issue, that may help. Okay, and so we want you to be healthy, mentally especially, and not be stressed. And we're here to support you in not being stressed. Learn about HMDM, holistic medical decision making. That process will lower your stress level, regardless of what's going on, even emergencies, once you really learn it. And then we want to rebalance the underlying energy and the underlying pattern that has been there since birth and has had things added to it for good or for bad. That's epigenetics, by what we feed and exercise and all that sort of stuff. And we have to fix that underlying energy field to have it balanced again, the quantum field, the energetic pattern. And that's homeopathy, Chinese medicine, osteopathy, chiropractic, Western herbs, many of those, but you have to be in charge. And it helps to keep a journal because you're looking at all the symptoms. Then we do a treatment, you do a treatment, you change the diet, you change something, or you work with a practitioner. Which of all of these symptoms got better, got worse, and is there a new one? So it's learning this evaluation, how to evaluate the response. That's what's really important. For Robin's working with the diarrhea with an acupuncturist who's tried Chinese supplements without much help. So I'm not sure that acupuncturist is treating the underlying imbalance completely. There may be more that could be done, like acupuncture, with you doing acupressure at home, different herbs maybe, or for homeopathy, work with a homeopathic veterinarian. And we've mentioned several of them so far. So you can keep posting, Robin, if you have more questions there. So that, and then the piece I missed is then we have soothing the symptoms while you figure out how to get them really healthy again and rebalanced. And the soothing the symptoms part, wow, there's tons of approaches, supplements, love, Tellington touch, Reiki, healing touch for animals, Eden energy medicine, web, all sorts of different ones. And we've covered a whole lot of them. But certainly they're more, they're more. We hear about more all the time. And the trick is you do one and see what happens. Or you do 2 or 3 and see what happens. There are many people and animals who've been helped, for instance, on a Rife machine. I've not seen enough consistent improvement to say that's my go-to. And I have seen a number of times where it has caused improvement and never had problems. And Nick, absolutely, none of us will ever discount any animal on account of their age. Just like we're not going to discount me on account of my age. I know I'm not going to need another total hip replacement. I know I can find what it is to have me be better, and I'm getting better. So never, never. Age is just a passage of years. And that's another clue. With younger animals, there were several of you who are starting with some younger animals. don't ever use aging as an excuse for lowered beam, behavior, energy, appetite, mood, or just any symptoms or feeling better. Nope, it's not aging. It's that you haven't fixed the energetic pattern that needs to be fixed. Yep, light therapy is another one of the ones. We're still not sure. For the diarrhea. Oh, with the diarrhea, I would also really be focusing on the microbiome. Maybe do a test with animalbiome.com. Maybe check with Dr. Margot Roman. And she collects poop from her own dogs who are like 8th, 10th generation, unvaccinated, untreated. So that would definitely be an area to work with. And Adored Beast seems to be having some good response with their probiotic, and she has some protocols. So that might be another one to try. Andre, definitely channel source energies for your 22-year-old cat who's peeing around. Can you make yourself unmute yourself? I'm curious as to how long ago it started.
Hi. Thank you.
Sure. How long ago what started first, the meowing or the urinating?
Yeah, I adopted her from my past landlord who unfortunately passed for cancer. So she was already an old cat, and so ever since she has been having this kind of behavior, which seems like, mixture. It's something like abandonment, grief, trauma, and also maybe aging. I don't know.
Not aging.
You already said that. Yeah.
Do you remember if she was doing this with your landlord before he passed?
Situation was a little bit tricky because she used to live in a beautiful ancient garden on Lake Como in Italy, and it was a 3 hectares garden where the cat was something like the boss, and she was the only one. And then this was mixed situation, because the good thing is she has a lot of space for her. On the other hand, she was sometimes like abandoned because the landlord used to travel and she was alone with the gardener, so it was.
But she was outdoors, so you have no idea if she was having any urinary problems at all at that point.
No, I know that because the people who used to clean the house, the cleaning ladies of the villa, they usually told me she used to urinate everywhere.
Oh, so she's been doing this her whole life. Well, that's definitely a challenge. It may just be. So my cat urinated out of the, he always went outdoors. And then one time he urinated on the couches and the bed, and it took me a while before I realized that he was only doing that when it had snowed out.
Oh.
And so then if I started plowing, shoveling a path for him to go under the deck, he stopped peeing in the house. And he told the communicator, I would never use a litter box. And so this is going to be a management issue for you, especially with 22. Number 1, animal communicator, especially an animal communicator who does emotional freedom technique.
Okay.
And even though you're a spiritual healer, I'm sure you know of a whole lot of other energetic healing approaches that you may not do.
Yes.
So start trying those one after the other after the other.
Okay.
And then start working with experimenting with different foods and feeding at different times to
Okay.
see if that has anything. Is the meowing all the time or just at night?
Really depends. When the color, the lavender color is ending, she starts again and again and again and all day long, you know?
Okay. So Dr. Jeff just posted in the chat, so be sure you copy that. Andre Monique Brigoni, and she's where, Dr. Jeff?
Yeah, right near Lake Como in Switzerland, actually. So, and Monique might be a perfect person for you, Andre.
That's
She
the kind.
loves older cats. She's right nearby, and she's a beautiful human being and a communicator and a death doula, and yeah, the whole 9 yards.
Thank you. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
And say hi for me and give her a kiss if you're nearby.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye. And for all the people with old kitties, check out brighthaven.org and read and just read about the thousands of cats that she helped. It's pretty amazing.
Fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome. Jennifer asks about that Anitra Frazier's Vitamineral mix has nutritional yeast and lecithin, and medical medium says don't use nutritional yeast and don't use lecithin. We're back to there is no one right answer. There is no expert, regardless of where they get their information from, who is right. There just is not a right. And I have seen, you know, the Vitamineral mix has been around since I started being holistic. And most cats that were on it, I didn't see problems long-term at all with them. Occasionally I did see, you know, something, it didn't work, they didn't like it, something like that. And if you aren't thrilled about feeding it, then don't feed it. You don't have to feed Anitra Frazier's Vitamineral mix to have a healthy cat. Pick one of the other multiple supplements that are out there, like standard process canine or feline support, or I'm drawing a blank. List a few of them, Dr. Jeff.
Oh gosh, there are so many
general
really
vitamins,
good ones out there. You know,
RX vitamins.
L-Nutrin is designed for cats eating a raw diet. Pet Health and Nutrition has a great organic herbal multivitamin mineral. Yeah, there's a lot out there, but yeah, and do some research. Nutritional yeast can be great, but yeah, like Anthony says, the majority of the ones out there are full of bleh. But you can find some really, really good nutritional yeast.
Now, you definitely don't want brewer's yeast. Because that's a byproduct. But I had thought most nutritional yeast was good. So look what I learned today. I love it. We all keep learning.
In the recipe, it does actually say any food yeast and lists brewers, perula, which I've never heard of, and then nutritional. But you say avoid brewers, correct?
Yeah, brewers is just a byproduct of the brewing industry. So you never know what that is. Nutritional is actually grown. So you could research, you could find good sources of nutritional yeast, I think. I mean, MSG isn't inherent in nutritional yeast. It would be how it's raised.
Yeah.
But again, you don't have to use it. Don't use it. If it doesn't feel right to you. I mean, that's the joy of holistic medicine. There's so many different options that you can go for almost everything. Not everything. Some fractures certainly need a plate on them, or some fractures need pins, or, you know, there are a few things out there that you do need to do. And muscle testing is absolutely, I definitely encourage people to learn that. And Sue Whitaker and Sue Wagner both have talked about muscle testing in the HA webinars. And remember, this Friday, today, it's the last Friday of every month. We do this Q&A and it's open to everybody. They do not need to be members of Holistic Action. So this is a place to invite your friends that you want them to, you know, if they're interested in having looking into natural health. And that's it for today. Dr. Jeff?
Yeah, let's run. Thank you all for coming. If you remember, on Monday, we have a really super special webinar coming from South Africa with Dr. Saskia Diaz, who's a animal and nature communicator, and she also communicates with microbiomes. So she can help you talk to your bugs.
And you don't have to, any one of you right now can talk to your microbiome. All of your microbiomes, your skin, your gut, your mouth, your hair, your whatever. You can talk to them all the time. So it's sort of that reminder, oh yeah, there's more of them than me, than my cells. So wow, let me be in a conversation with them. All right.
So thank you all for coming. Thank you, Dr. Christina, and we'll see you all next month, or we'll see you on Monday. Right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.